Good day, everyone. I am Henidena C. Tamba, presenting to you my RPMS portfolio for school year 2020 to 2021. You are a chosen one. Many took education courses in college and ended up in jobs that are not even related to teaching because of the processes like passing the LET, demonstration, teaching, job interview, English proficiency test, and many others. All of this just to achieve their dreams to become a successful teacher. Some luckily passed, but others unfortunately failed. In contrast, there are also professionals who took non education courses and they finally found themselves in educating. Due to the dynamic trends of teaching, molding lifelong learners would take teachers to embrace lifelong learning. They are even called experts, but in fact, they do not know everything. Consequently, they need to upgrade themselves every now and then by enrolling in MA, PhD, or attending to seminar workshops and various trainings. But teaching doesn't only end there. After the didactics, paperworks are just waiting in the corner, not to mention the learners with special needs and attention. Some were already in the field but chose to find another jobs for reasons. This just made me think that teaching is not just a job. It is an answer to the call from up above. Many were invited, but only few were chosen. Teacher, it is not easy to be you. Be proud. You are a chosen one. KRA 1 Content Knowledge and Pedagogy. Objective number 1 Applied knowledge of content within and across curriculum teaching areas. The needed MOV is the Classroom Observation Tool or COT rating sheet or Inter-Observer Agreement form. This year, we only need 2 COTs in order to fulfill this objective. Annotations. One of the teacher's mission is to ensure that the learners are not only good in one subject, but are holistic and equipped enough with content knowledge and skills across the different subject areas. That is why I am doing my best to at least integrate 2 or more subjects in our lesson. Objective number 2. Ensure the positive use of ICT to facilitate the teaching and learning process. Objective number 3. Applied a range of teaching strategies to develop critical and creative thinking, as well as other higher-order thinking skills. The MOVs needed for these objectives are any supplementary material in print or digital format made by the ratee and used in the lesson delivery. In my case, I have activity sheets, one lesson from a locally crafted SLM, lesson plan, and video lesson. KRA number 2, Diversity of Learners, Assessment and Reporting. Objective number 4, established a learner-centered culture by using teaching strategies that respond to their linguistic, cultural, socio-economic, and religious background. The needed MOVs for this objective are any supplemental material in print or digital format made by the ratee and used in the lesson delivery. In my case, I have activity sheets, one lesson from a locally crafted SLM, lesson plan, and video lesson. Objective number 5. Planned and delivered teaching strategies that are responsive to the special educational needs of learners in difficult circumstances, including geographic isolation, chronic illness, displacement due to armed conflict, urban resettlement or disasters, child abuse, and child labor practices. The MOV for this objective is the COT rating sheet or Inter-Observation Agreement form. Objective number 6. Used strategies for providing timely, accurate, and constructive feedback to improve learner performance. The MOVs for this objective are evidence that highlights providing accurate and constructive feedback to improve learner performance, and that shows timeliness of feedback given to any of the following: activity sheet, performance task, portfolio, quiz or test, and self-learning module. In my case, the attachments that I have for this objective are activity sheet, portfolio, and quiz or test in our summative test. KRA number 3. Curriculum and planning. Objective number 7. Selected, developed, organized, and used appropriate teaching and learning resources, including ICT, to address learning goals. The MOV for this objective is the COT rating sheet, Inter-Observer Agreement form. Objective number 8. Set achievable and appropriate learning outcomes that are aligned with learning competencies. The MOVs for this objective are 1. Lesson plan, BLP, BLL, WHLP, WLP, WLL, lesson exemplars, and the likes, or one lesson from a learning module prepared by the ratee with achievable and appropriate learning competencies as shown in any of the following: lecture or discussion, activity or activity sheet, performance task, rubric for assessing performance using criteria that appropriately describe the target output. In my case, I have the lecture or discussion, activity or activity sheet, performance task that are included in my lesson plan. KRA number 4. Community linkages and professional engagement, professional growth, and professional development. Objective number 9. Build relationships with parents or guardians and the wider school community to facilitate involvement in the educative process. The MOVs for this objective are: number 1. Proof of participation in any activity for improved access to education, such as, but not limited to, the following activities: distribution of learning materials to learners or parents. Example, receipt form, monitoring form during the distribution of learning materials. Brigada Eskwela. Example, commitment form to stakeholders, developed advocacy materials. Certificate of participation that involves parents or stakeholders' engagement, signed by the school head, and etc. Home visitation. Example, home visitation form, and etc. Others. Number 2. Parent-teacher or or proof of other stakeholders meeting. Example, one-on-one parent-teacher learner conference log, attendance sheet with minutes of online or face-to-face meeting, proof of involvement in the learners' or parents' orientation, and etc. Number 3. Any form of communication to parents, stakeholders. Example, notice of meeting, screenshot of chat or text message, communications with parent or guardian, name of identifier removed, digital or printed copy of learner enrollment survey form signed by the ICT coordinator or focal person and school head. In my case, my attachments for this objective are certificate of participation that involves parents or stakeholders engagement signed by the school head, and screenshot of chat or text message communication with parent or guardian. Objective number 10. Participated in professional networks to share knowledge and to enhance practice. The MOVs that are needed for this objective are Certificate of Completion in a course or training, Certificate of Participation in a webinar, retooling, upskilling, and other training or seminar or workshop with proof of implementation, Certificate of Recognition or Speakership in a webinar, retooling, upskilling, and other training or seminar workshop, any proof of participation to a benchmarking activity, any proof of participation in school LAC sessions, online or face-to-face, certified by the LAC coordinator. Others. In my case, the MOVs that I have for this objective are Certificate of Completion in a course training, Certificate of Participation in a webinar or retooling or upskilling and other training or seminar workshop with proof of implementation, any proof of participation to a benchmarking activity. Objective number 11. Develop a personal improvement plan based on reflection of one's practice and ongoing professional learning. The MOVs for this objective are Individual Performance and Commitment and Review Form Development Plan or the IPCRF DP. The supporting MOVs for this are reflection of one's practice during LAC sessions with proof of attendance, reflection or personal notes on coaching and mentoring and or mid-year review, personal notes, journal on division or school-led inset with proof of attendance, certificate of enrollment or registration form, class card in graduate or postgraduate school, online course, any learning material highlighting the improvement done based on accomplished reflection section. Others. In my case, the MOVs that I have for this objective are the main MOV, Individual Performance and Commitment and Review Form Development Plan or the IPCRF DP, reflection of one's practice during LAC sessions with proof of attendance, personal notes, journal on division or school-led inset with proof of attendance, certificate of enrollment or registration form or class card in graduate or postgraduate school or online courses, any learning material highlighting the improvement done based on accomplished reflection section. KRA 5. plus factor. Objective number 12. Performed various related works or activities that contribute to the teaching or learning process. MOVs, proof of community involvement. Advisorship or co-curricular activities. Involvement as module or learning material writer. Involvement as module or learning validator. Participation in the RO, STO, or school-initiated TV or radio-based instruction. Book or journal, authorship, contributorship. Coordinatorship or chairpersonship. Coaching and mentoring learners in competitions. Mentoring pre-service teachers. Participation in demonstration teaching. Participation as research presenter in a forum or conference. Others. In the school year 2020 to 2021, the situation might be so tough, but I guess the teachers are mightier. So here are my achievements for this school year. As a science teacher, I created a division-wide self-learning modules for quarter 1 and 2. Created a division-wide final test, written test, questionnaires for quarter 4. Sorted and held modules, and monitored students' progress through the Facebook Messenger. As Oplan Balik Eskwela Coordinator, I facilitated in the harvesting of the online LESF and forwarded it to the grade level heads. Reported the number of enrollees to the cluster. Facilitated in the harvesting of the online modified basic education enrollment form during the early registration. As an acting administrative officer, I facilitated in the school operations, facilitated in the building inspection, disseminated information through the school memoranda and Facebook Messenger, facilitated in the submission of reports to the cluster and division, facilitated and assisted the following ancillary offices in their reports. A. School HRMO, encoding of the Dolitopad data of applicants. School Registrar, forwarded the requested students' credentials through the school email. C. Department Heads, consolidated the quarterly reports, including the GSA, the least learned competencies, the proficiency level, and etc. D. SBM, assisted the SBM in printing the designs for the SBM corner. E. LIS, facilitated the submission of SF4 and other reports to the cluster. F. Supply Office, encoded the APP and PPMP for fiscal year 2021. G. Property Office, drafted the school site development plan. H. Adopt a School, prepared a memorandum of agreement and deed of donations. I. Project Watch, facilitated in the conduct of the TFEW orientation. Number 6. Authored the activity proposal for the virtual stakeholders' appreciation and recognition. 7. Worked as a part of the school performance management team. As ESIP coordinator, I facilitated and organized a school-based technical assistance on the creation of the 3-year ESIP. I consolidated the departmental AIPs and ESIP. Finally, I bounded the ASIP and sent it to the division office. Our educational system has changed drastically due to the health crisis, but teachers as we are, we find ways. This has been your RPMS Portfolio Presenter of the Day, Hinedena C. Tamba, leaving you this mantra: a commitment to serve, bida ka, be a Dakodanian.